Okay, question 2, total versus marginal utility. Total utility can rise, while marginal utility does fall or decrease. Total utility will only stop increasing when the marginal utility will hit at a zero, and only at a zero or negative number it'll start to decrease. As long as we get some sort of positive number, it will increase, but usually it follows to tend a curve of going high at the very first step and quickly plateauing as you reach and as you keep going on, due to the less amount of input that has been put on it than the previous input put on. But as long as it doesn't become a negative number or just zero, it will increase just at a slower rate than it had before. Here is a simple graph of how we start off jumping really quickly in these first two steps, but as we go in a bigger graph, it would continue to go up higher and higher as we would. But as time permits or as consuming permits, it'll only be jumping us very, very, very little units each at a time. And as long as it don't hit zero or the input is not a negative number, it will continue to increase. This is a graph of the marginal utility, and this is basically the input being put towards growing. You see these very big drops at the beginning, and then as we keep going on by the units consumed or time or whatever we're talking about, it tends to plateau. In this case, it does hit zero, but in many cases it does not hit zero, or in some other cases it hits even below this to the negative numbers, which then we will see marginal utility fall under and not even grow at all. So the overall idea is that diminishing marginal utility explain why total utility increases at a slower pace than at the beginning, how it would, but it can still rise as long as the marginal utility remains over zero and not as when it hits zero or negative number, like I've said, or remains positive.